Welcome to Believers Talk with Joe and Steve. I'm your host, Joe. In this video, we will start our position breakdowns. We're going to go position by position, breaking down each position, player battles that possibly going to happen while we look into training camp, which starts next week, and then on to the preseason. But before we do that, however, please, if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel. Like I said, we are going to keep you completely updated, whether it be off the field issues like McCoy or Zay Jones or something like that. On the field issues, these player breakdowns, injuries, whatever might happen, we'll keep you covered no matter what it is. So subscribe to this channel. As I go on with these videos, like or dislike these videos, leave a comment, maybe share if you feel inclined to. Also follow us on Facebook and Twitter. We're on there. We again are going to keep you posted on all Bills news. So let's get started. Position breakdown today, episode 1. We're going to start on the defensive side of the ball. That's my favorite side of the ball. I am a defensive-minded guy. I love defense. So we're going to start there, and I'm going to start on the outside and kind of work our way in. So we're going to start with the cornerback position. Okay. So a lot of these breakdowns, I'm going to go off what we did last year as far as how many roster spots we used for these players. So for this position, I should say. So again, we currently have 89 players on our roster. We need to get that cut down to 53. On our 53-man roster last year, 2017, we had 6 cornerbacks on our team. And believe it or not, a lot of those cornerbacks are no longer on our team. We actually have, I believe, three returning cornerbacks from last year to this year, and one was really there just towards the end of the season. That would be Breon Borders. So I'm going to go through the list of names, talk about each one of them a little bit, and you'll see what I mean by what they can contribute. Again, I think out of these, I believe there's 8 of them here currently on the team. I believe out of the 8, we'll keep 5, but last year we kept 6. So I'm going to go through and say which ones I think we'll keep, what might be a position battle, because you never know. You might find that diamond in the rough. There's a couple young players on here. We want to give them a chance to show what they have. So I'm going to start with our favorite cornerback now. Rookie last year, picked up in the first round last year, Tre'Davious White. Again, if you watched these videos before, you know how much I think he should have been Defensive Rookie of the Year. But Tre'Davious White was a wonderful asset to our defense last year. He really makes you want to believe in this defense, right? I mean, he is really a solid piece that kind of made noise right away. You look at the 4 interceptions, being around the ball, just his leadership abilities. We really like him. Really great player, young player. Hopefully, he's a stud for years to come. So obviously, I believe we all know that Tre'Davious White will be on the starting roster unless something unforeseeable happens, which we obviously hope not in training camp or preseason. But unless something like that happens, an injury or something of that nature, he will obviously be on the team. And he's going to be, I believe he'll be leaned on a lot this year. Again, with a lot of these new guys coming in, I believe we'll lean on him to kind of show these guys the ropes a little bit. Now that it's the second year in the defensive system with McDermott as well. Next, I'll go to a guy that we recently signed this offseason. Actually, it was probably our first big acquisition in this offseason. That'd be Vontae Davis. Spent the last 9 seasons, I believe, with the Colts. Vontae Davis from Illinois. This is his 10th season. I'm not sure if he spent all previous 9 with the Colts or if he was somewhere else first. Now, last year, he missed a lot of last year due to some hamstring injuries. So I think he only played like 5 games last year. And then I think the year before that, he didn't play a full season either. But 2014, 2015, his last 2 full seasons, he was a Pro Bowler in both those years. So it's just a matter of which Vontae Davis are we getting? Is he now this older veteran who's declining in his career and getting injury prone, or can he go back to the 2014-2015 Vontae Davis, 4 interceptions each season, a lot of tackles, again, pass deflections, things of that nature. So we hope that that's who he can be, because if he is that guy, then we really have 2 really good standout corners, and that will really help us in the passing game. And in today's NFL, it's a passing league, right? So you really want to solidify those corners, and then those safeties behind you, which we'll do in the next breakdown video, but we want to have the good corners and then the good safeties. So moving down the list, I believe like those two guys are absolutely safe. I don't think you have to wonder about those two guys at all. I think they're, again, unless something happens, they're going to be on the 53-man roster, along with Philip Gaines. As most of you know, or should know, we were unable to re-sign EJ Gaines, but we were able to sign Philip Gaines, who will be a good slot corner, I think. Philip Gaines spent 3 years, I believe. I'm looking down here. Yeah, 3 years with the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm sorry, 4 seasons with the Kansas City Chiefs. Started in 16 games, played in 41 games. So he's a versatile player. He's been around. 100 total tackles, 14 pass deflections, and interceptions. So I look forward to seeing what he can do in Buffalo's defense. In my previous video, I did make mention of the fact that I do believe the Bills can have a top 10 defense. I believe their defense might even surprise some people, possibly getting towards that top 5 area. I don't think we can be better than Jacksonville or Minnesota, but beyond that, I don't see too many teams. I'm like, wow, yeah, they're going to be much better than the Bills, because I think Leslie Frazier and Sean McDermott have done a great job with that unit last year, and I think it will just continue to improve this year. So I do look forward to that. But those 3 guys, as far as the cornerback position, I think those 3 guys are definitely easy to say they're in. They're safe. They're going to be on the 53-man roster. And then we look at guys who have like the inside track, right? Like I'm pretty sure they're gonna be on the team, but maybe one of these younger guys comes up and jumps them, and they don't make the team. But I think they're pretty safe, and that's gonna be Lafayette Pitts, who was also a returning cornerback from last year. I think he has some value that he added to the team. He didn't start any of the games, but he filled in kind of nicely, especially when Gaines went out a couple times. I believe he came in. So I believe he's on the inside track to stay on the team. Plus, again, a lot of these guys, some of these other guys are either rookies or first year with the Bills. I think he has the inside track since this is his second year in that system. So we'll see. And then also our 4th round draft pick from this current draft, the 2018 draft, Teron Johnson. Teron Johnson from Weber State, I believe is how you pronounce it. But yeah, he was our 4th round draft pick. From what they said in the draft coverage, he will do better in the nickel role than just like one-on-one or anything like that. But I believe that McDermott does like to play the nickel defense, so I think that's why we picked him up. That's why we drafted him where we did, because I believe that McDermott and Frazier do play a lot of nickel defense packages, and so that will really play to his strengths. And so if you pick up someone in the 4th round who plays to your strengths, more than likely he's going to be on the team. And so we look forward to that. But yeah, I think those 2 guys between Pitts and Johnson, I believe those 2 guys have the inside track as far as I think they'll be there. I wouldn't be surprised per se if they weren't there, but I do believe that they have solidified themselves as the next 2 guys. So that gives us 5. So to be honest, I believe we will stop at 5. I think we'll carry only five cornerbacks going into the season this year. But like I said, last year, 2017, we carried over 6 cornerbacks. So we're going to talk about the remaining quarterbacks, and maybe there will be a battle there. So the remaining quarterbacks will be Breon Borders, who did this is going to be his 2nd season, and he was signed as an undrafted free agent by the Raiders, got waived by the Raiders, and then was picked up by the Bills. But he was only set on the practice squad, I believe. He was only signed by us on December 16th, so he was only on our team for the last 3 weeks of the season. So he didn't get any playing time. Now, again, he was there for 3 weeks last season, so maybe that gives him a little bit of an edge. But we'll see. Then we got Ryan Carter from Clemson. This will be his rookie year. Again, undrafted free agent, posted a 4.52 speed at the combine, played in 29 games, made 29 starts for Clemson last season. In those 29 starts, he had 78 tackles, 4 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, and a sack. So he had good numbers at Clemson, ACC school, good competition. So he has proven on the college ranks We'll see if he has something to prove in the pros as well. Maybe he comes up and, again, one of those guys that might surprise you as well. Next on the list is going to be Levi Wallace from Alabama. He was an undrafted free agent as well. Not too much known about Levi Wallace from my standpoint. He was a walk-on in Alabama, so even though a lot of draft experts and NFL experts say, they don't see him as anything more than a practice squad player. I mean, he was a walk-on at Alabama, so that says something about his drive, his competitiveness, and things of that. So maybe he will surprise people in camp and in training camp, get some snaps in preseason. We'll see what he does. But yeah, so those are the other three guys that might be fighting for one spot. And I believe that, like, even though you have a 53-man roster, you do kind of look at these guys and say, okay, these are the for sure guys in. That leaves you with some spots to kind of play around with. And I think we did that last year with corner with our sixth. So that's why I think we'll have five, because we do have other positions of need that are like, I don't know, like you talk about wide receiver, it comes to mind right away. And it wouldn't hurt us to have an extra guy, a young guy at wide receiver, so that way we can continue to look to see who plays best in game time situations. Because you can say what you want about practice, you can say what you want about college, but until you get them out there on the field in the pro system, see what they got, you really don't know. So maybe we're going to rotate some more wide receivers in there, see who works best with our new offensive system, with our new quarterback. No matter who it is, it's a new quarterback. Whether it's a rookie quarterback or not, we'll see. But McCarron, would be new. Peterman wouldn't be new. He was there last year as well, but he's still young. He only had two starts, one of which he was knocked out, and one of which in that game was 3 feet of snow. It wasn't exactly a high scoring affair. So we'll see what goes on there. And then of course you have Allen with our rookie quarterback, but those are the cornerbacks that we have. Again, I'm going to go through the list again. I think the easy yeses to be on the team would be Tre'Davious White from LSU. This is, again, his second year coming in. And then we have Vontae Davis, who we just signed from Illinois. And then we have Philip Gaines from Rice University, played with the Chiefs. I think those three guys are safely locks to make the roster. I think two guys that have the inside track to make the roster, and probably, I believe, will make the roster, will be Lafayette Pitts, who was here with the Bills last year, who came from Pittsburgh, and then Teron Johnson, who we just drafted from Weber State this year. I believe he will make the roster as well. There's three other guys that maybe they'll make the team, but we'll see. We'll see what training camp brings, and then into preseason as well. But that's it. And then you never know. Unfortunately, you never know with injuries either what might happen, right? I mean, obviously, if one of these guys gets hurt, then that obviously bumps up maybe somebody else who we didn't see before. So we'll see. But that is our cornerback breakdown. So let me know what you think. Do you agree, disagree? Was there something I missed? It's very possible. I do miss things from time to time, but that's kind of like my breakdown of the position and how the Bills look going into the 2018 season. So again, if you disagree, let me know. But please be sure to like this video. And be sure to subscribe to this channel. Share this video if you feel like it deserves a share or a comment. I will happily comment with you and talk to you about things that you feel like maybe I missed or misspoke on, and we'll get those situated. So, but that's all I have. So please be sure to subscribe, like I said. But till next time, go Bills.